Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general mini cross reading for February 2021. I had a brain fart there for a second. I've already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign and glyph, and I am going to be using the Radiant White, clarifying with Levita Sibila, and of course, we will wrap it up with the Golden Nostradamus. So let me turn the cards around. I'm just having a brain fart all over the place. So let me turn the camera around and we're just going to get started. I'm going to put another rifle and shuffle on these cards. I'm hoping y'all won't have to see that anymore. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get my altar table space built over in the corner over there and put my shelves up on the wall and put all my roots and things up there. So I've got two new file cabinets, and I'm trying to determine if I'm going to build the table over those. That way I can store a bunch of stuff in there. And I'm also going to make myself a new desk. I bought this table and it's got leaves on it, but it's kind of a little too wide for the room. So I'm going to build something a little bit slimmer with some storage space. You guys will be seeing that eventually. I'm just waiting for the weather to get better. So here we go. Where we are now, the Page of Coins, the Unknown Influence, the Ten of Wands. Wow. The Known Influence, or what we know to be true. The Hierophant. Not bad, not bad. The Near or Distant Past. The Ace of Wands. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, and then the Near or Distant Future. Well, the Temperance card. So, 2 wands, 2 major arcanas, and a coin. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel and my style of reading, the major arcana hold way more weight than these pip cards here. So I'll be taking a look at these pip cards to see if there's some extra meanings we can get out of them. I can't look at the page because the page will either represent a person or it will represent a message, some kind of news coming, okay? What is over the whole reading? The Seven of Wands. I think, everybody's kind of in this Wands energy due to the circumstances of the pandemic, the economic circumstances, the fact that, kids are home from school. People are having to find alternate ways to do what they used to do before. Okay. Not a bad thing. What I find to be interesting is this Ace to the 10. Because that's the way the energy feels as if it's flowing on this side of the spread. So we know that the pages usually bring news and messages. But the page is also a student. And having this Hierophant here, which can represent organizations like colleges and universities. I'm not exactly sure if the cards are telling me that this has to do with the child who may be in college. But I also feel that this is saying that there's some type of work project that you've been, or that will be offered to you. I do feel that if you've been waiting on news of a financial nature or maybe a study nature, maybe you yourself want to go back to school for higher education. Why do I say that? Because Sagittarius rules higher education, post-secondary education. So maybe you've been waiting on hearing the idea of getting accepted into the program. But that whatever this news is, I think you're going to have to pace yourself. That's the word I'm looking for. Now, the Hierophant is interesting because it represents the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is co-ruled by Venus, and Taurus rules your second house of finances. These are your own personal finances. This is not money that you get from your job per se. It's not money that you get with the spouse. These are the things that you've already accrued on your own. So this is going to be cars, jewelry, apartments, condos, property, 401ks, retirements, charities, stocks, bonds, those kinds of things, okay? But then too, the Hierophant can also represent an individual who sits at the top of the hierarchical chain, someone who is able to get the knowledge from a higher source and then disseminate it out. I have also seen the Hierophant show up when it speaks to some type of negotiation or contractual issue, whether this be a marriage or a business deal, okay? Because that's really what a marriage is. It's a contractual issue, not romantic, but true. This Ace of Wands tells me that this situation it's one that has happened to you in the either near or distant past. For some of you, this has not occurred yet. For others of you, you could be in the middle of it. For some of you, you could be nearing the end of it, right? I don't know if some of you are wanting to go into the field of metaphysics or go into the field of what they would call alternative therapy. So acupuncture, herbalism, card reading, massage therapy, Reiki, those kinds of things. That's coming across as well. It is this Ten of Wands that kind of has me not necessarily gives me a bad feeling. It's just one of intense and struggle is not even the right word. Intense weight. That's the word that I'm looking for. The Ten of Wands, it is a 10. And so it says it's a changing energy, right? But we see that the Ace appears before the 10. Normally, I would rather see it like this. Yeah. Okay. Because this tells me that it's going to be changing quite soon. But the way that the energy of the cards feel is that the situation has already changed. And now you got a lot to deal with. But that 10 says that you can do this. You just need to be a bit more aware of how you are taking care of yourself, even though that is not what the Temperance card necessarily represents. It represents, at least in my experience, if the question is, am I on the right track? Am I on the right road? Then the answer is yes, but it's going to require some moderation. It's going to require that you moderate your emotional quotient against that of the physical nature of whatever it is you're attempting to do. This is a card of healing. But as you can see, the path there leading to the crown in the very back. So the question is, if it's, am I on the right path? And the answer is yes, you are on the right path. It is this Seven of Wands that, and it's kind of funny because the 7 says you've got a lot of things on your plate. Well, we see you had so many things that you weren't even looking where you were going. And that card is supposed to represent some type of struggle or burden, but it never appears to me that way because I always look at a burden as being something carried on your back. This is being carried in front of you, right? And this is holding on to all of these different things that you want to get accomplished. Yes, but you're having trouble doing it. That could be because you got too many irons in the fire. And I feel that this is where the moderation portion of this reading comes in. It's telling you that you're going to have to split those things up. And I also feel that it kind of snowballed is the word that I keep hearing. That it snowballed. That you suddenly were in somewhat of a, I don't know, secure place. Yes, this thing changed. You got all of these things going on. But at the time, you were just kind of, I don't know, fighting off things, you know, having a lot of things on your plate. But this card always says that you are in a better position than you realize. You see, you're up above the fray down here. And I always get the sense with this card that you had to move in a hurry because the person has on a shoe and a boot, right? Now, Pamela Coleman Smith designed that to say somebody is of two minds. That doesn't necessarily ring true for me. I won't say it is not true. It just doesn't feel that way for me. It feels like there was some kind of hurried action that you had to do. Sevens represent a moment of, what do you call it? Contemplation, a moment of second guessing yourself, a moment of wondering, do I have, of questioning your confidence, of questioning, do I really want to do all of these things? Because I got so much stuff coming at me, I don't know what to do, right? And so I don't feel that this is a bad reading. What I'm going to do is to look at these cards as they relate to the Temperance and the Hierophant. I'm not exactly sure if this Hierophant is also a person that you may be dealing with, someone who has the authority to make decisions. I don't know if that makes any sense. Let me see here. I'm going to first look at this Ace of Wands. And aces are opportunities, okay? In other words, it's the excessive degree of everything. Let's see, I'm in the northern hemisphere, so June, July, or August, perhaps back of 2020. If you're in the southern hemisphere, then this is happening for you right about now, December, January, and February. But the ace next to these two cards tells me nothing. And let's check on the Ten of Wands. Tells me nothing. I'm going to go ahead and look at the 7 as well. Tells me nothing. Okay? So I would say to you that in order to move through this situation, I will say that the energy does feel rather harried. That you accomplish or achieve, take it one step at a time. All right? I want to see what this Hierophant has to say, because there's just something about how he has presented himself at the base of the reading. He is the anchor and the foundation of the reading. And I will tell you another thing. These are two separate energies. This is more organized religion. This is more Gnostic type of religion, and not Gnostic is not even the right word. Whereas this guy is the basic foundation of religion, so to speak. This represents psychics, tarot, astrology, all of those things that are associated with the higher mind, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. This is the physical mind. This is the higher being. This is the physical being. Taking care of yourself here on earth, all right? I don't know if I explained that properly, but okay, here we go. Dinari. Remember I was talking about how it represents your finances? Giovani Fanciulla. And the Bambino. Wow. This is related to your financial situation or whatever your financial plans or goals or dreams are. The Giovani Fanciulla can be a funny card because she can show up when you're like, I don't even know who the hell that is. She does represent the Queen of Wands. So this would stand with the, the idea of Sagittarius Sun. But also, as a situation, the Giovani Fanciulla is the idea of someone who's rather nervous, who's rather, can be somewhat naive and perhaps gullible, but also has this, idea of psychic ability. And so this whole idea of what I was saying to you about going into a field of alternative medicines, this is true. It says that it describes, it represents heightened sensitivity and may indicate psychic ability or a budding psychic ability that needs to be developed. It can sometimes describe a person who has an absorbent aura, okay, as opposed to a radiating aura. and whose propensity is to be extremely affected by the environment around them for better or for worse. All right? But also, sometimes when this card shows up, it points to a problem, a danger, or an underlying problem that is specific to you, in which case I am to look out for the cards on the left and what is below. And what is on the left of Giovanni Fanciulla, and let me show you. See, she's got her finger pointing that way and she's got one pointing down. This is about finances, right? This is about security. This could be about old documents, as we see the things in there. Denari is not only the idea of actual money, but it is also related to the idea of value, which is what, really my screen's dark, which is what the second house of Taurus represents. It represents this idea of your personal, why is my screen going dark? Of your personal values. What is more important than money? What is more important than gold? Who or what is more important than money or gold, right? Now, if I'm going to say she's pointing down, what she's pointing at is these two acolytes here. So I'm not exactly sure if this is telling me that there are two other people, if this is a job situation and you are in the middle, or maybe a higher educational program, that maybe there's two other people that you're vying with, okay, for this position. But the baby speaks to something new, all right? It speaks to new projects. It speaks to things that have not yet manifested itself, all right? So I would just say, if you have a bit of nervousness or anxiety around this, or if your intuition is telling you something, listen to what your intuition is telling you, but also you need to moderate what you are thinking, all right? Only you can control your own mind. And so if you can get a handle on the anxiety and or the fear, if you can get a handle on whatever it is that's making you a bit fearful, you're going to be able to move through this, because I do say you're going to have to get up and move. We go from the 1 to the 10, and then from the 10 to the 7 leaves me 3. 3 wands. And the 3 of wands says that there's a decision that you're going to have to make, and you're going to have to move forward with it. But 3s also say there's going to be a suspended time before there's something else that may need to be done before the situation will move forward. Okay? So I want to take your time. It doesn't feel as though there's a lot of harried energy in this, save for this 7 of wands. So take your time and listen to trust what your intuition, and then look at your values and value systems. You know, is it really going to be worth it? You know, are you going to be treated like your worth? Are you going to be paid for your skills and everything that you bring to the table? And if not, you need to question whether or not this is really going to be worth it for you, not just on a financial level, but on a spiritual level, okay, and an emotional level. So here we go. Because sometimes, you know, people be asking you to do stuff, and first of all, it don't even be in your job description, but second of all, you know, it's not worth the hassle that you got to go through, right? Okay, so indeed, the 5, the glove, or the gauntlet. You ever heard that phrase, the phrase walking the gauntlet? Okay, or throwing down the gauntlet? It's a challenge. It says, those too free with flattery and praise seek to deceive you and make you their prey. You will face a challenge or a duel with someone, or a confrontation with your own shadow or limitations. It also says that a potential lawsuit may arise. Now, I don't necessarily see that, but, you know, everybody's got their own story. And so that's what I have for you, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for February 2021. You know, meditate on it, pray on it, you know, and listen to whatever your gut's telling you. And so until next time, stay safe and namaste.